Hi, this is Maheshwari, and in this video, we're going to take a look at the graphic design style Swiss design. Swiss design is also known as International Typographic Style. So, this is a movement that happened in 1950s in two Swiss art schools. So, one was led by Brockmann and one was by Ernst Keller. Swiss design basically emphasizes simplicity, objectivity, and readability. And Swiss design is considered to be the basics. It's the foundation of modern graphic design as we know it right now. So this actually made Switzerland the hub of modern graphic design. So let's take a look at these examples of Swiss design, and we'll try to understand them and how we are going to use it in a graphic design project. So when you're talking about Swiss graphic design, since clarity is the main objective of using Swiss design, uh, this was moving away from the explorative art, which was very popular in graphic design during the transition from art movements to graphic design. So while every graphic designer was trying to emulate what uh, artists were doing with paintings, uh, it sort of made graphic designs pretty complex for laymen to understand. So to bring back simplicity and clarity to graphic design projects, the founders, the key people of um, Swiss design movement came up with a set of rules to make designs look more clear and accessible. Uh, One rule, the most important rule was a grid system. So the designs needs to be aligned to a grid with you can use only one typeface, and it was Helvetica. So it started with a typeface called Saskia, and later um, they want to create a neutered look for the whole design, and they went with Helvetica. Type sizes, scale of typefaces should always follow a particular ratio. So they went back to the golden ratio, and every type scale was decided based on the golden ratio. Um, the type style was usually lowercase, but in some rare cases they were using word cases and sometimes even all uppercase. The major reason for using lowercase was to reduce the amount of emphasis or unwanted prominence for the characters. They don't want text element to shout at people who are looking at them. They wanted again a neutral tone to the whole poster, so they tried to do it with lowercase type. There was another rule that was set later for images where they can only use candid or editorial images. So a post image would defy the whole narrative of being real and truthful. So the rule was that you should use an image which is editorial, like or just more truthful in nature than a post creative image. Once these rules were set into place and the Puritan Swiss design style was formed, and you can see that in a lot of early examples of Swiss. Later, different variants of Swiss design came in, and they started, making modern Swiss variants and hybrids, which is structured from Swiss. But the discipline that Swiss was using globalized the design industry, and a lot of designers started creating works that were standardized in a lot of way. The industry that made this movement really popular was the pharmaceutical industry. Since for medical packaging or when you're selling medicines, clarity was of the utmost importance. Swiss design really became this popular because of the pharmaceutical industry, and you can still see that Swiss style being used in a lot of medical packaging that you're getting right now. So let's take a look at an example and how we can actually create a Swiss design in Photoshop. So I'm going to do this for a movie poster. So the movie that I'm going to choose is Exorcist, which came out in 1973. So I'm going to go to Photoshop. The first thing that we need to do, we will go with all the rules that is mentioned here. So we'll create a new file. Let's go with an A4 document, and um, the first thing that we need to do is to create a grid. So we're going to go to View and Guides, set up a new guide layout. We have a column and row, and we will change the number to 6 here for both the columns and rows. And now we have a Swiss grid in here. So let's click OK, and we have a Swiss grid to start our project. So everything that we are adding to this will be aligned to this grid. So we'll start with the typeface. So as I was saying, we should be using Helvetica for the type. So I'm using Helvetica Bold, and let's type the title of the film. So here I'm using a lowercase type style. So I'll align this to this position right here. The next thing that we need to know, let's fill it with all the other elements that we need. So I need a block of text, which actually talks about the film, bring down the size a little bit. And I need some credits, so I will write the actors. So we have all the text content right here. Now, this is not aligned to the grid. We just have the grid and we have the content right here. So we are going to align this to the grid. That's our first rule, right? Everything that we design in Puritan Swiss needs to be aligned to a grid. So we need to look at the type scale as well before aligning this, because everything is actually not stuck. We randomly gave the sizes to this. So let's go and find out the type scales based on golden ratio. So I'm going to use this site called type scale. Let's find our base size, which is 12 pixels. We'll actually use 12 pixels and change the scale ratio to golden ratio so that we will be able to find all the possible sizes in that ratio. Let's switch to pixels and we will see all the pixels that we can use. So what we'll do is we'll take our body text and make it into 12 pixels. So let's make sure that it's 12. This is our base size. So if that is 12, this title currently which is 36, we will go to that type scale site and find which is the closest one to that. 31.42 is the closest, so we'll choose that and we will change the type to this size. 31.40 for both of this. Now this is also needs to be 12 or below that in that ratio. So we are making everything to the golden ratio. So now we have all the text which is in golden ratio. What I want to do is I don't want the text, the body text to be this big. So what I'll do is I'll find the value just below 12. So let's go down here and we can see that there is a small text with 7.42. We will change this to 7.40. Now, since we have all the components in here, it's time to align the text. So the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to take this text, block of text, and align it into a piece of this grid. We have that. Let's align that perfectly. So that sits right there. Maybe I can move it to somewhere in this grid, and it works. So the exorcist is already aligned to this grid. I will take the 73 and I will align it right here. So I have that also aligned. What I'm going to do is I'll take the William Fredkin title text and I will align it to these two grids. So we have that also figured out. Now, if you look at this design, this is perfectly, all the elements that we have so far is aligned to the grid. Now, I need to add a shape element as well. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to picturize or create a geometric version of the inverted cross that is a repeating motif in the movie Exorcist. So to do that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a shape here. Let's fill it with black. Use a stroke of it, and then let's create a shape. Okay, that aligns to that. Great. I will create one more shape which does this. All right. So that's pretty, basically it. We have created a poster which has Swiss, which is using a Swiss graphic design. Let's go to view and then turn off the guides, and you can see that we have a poster which follows Puritan Swiss style. You can keep playing around with the modules and you can create more shapes, but the whole, you cannot deviate from the rules of typefaces. break the rule of the typeface ratio or the grids if you want to maintain the Swiss style. So you can make more variants like this and you can practice this. So I hope the video was useful and it gave you a head start in Swiss style. And I would recommend anybody who's starting with graphic design to start learning Swiss graphic design style first before you venture into other styles. Because once you get this discipline, it's really, really easy to move into other styles of design. And the typographic systems that they are using is basically axial or modular. So that's also very easy to get into. Axial type system is where typography is aligned to either the left or the right of an axis line. And modular is where every single piece of type is actually considered as an individual unit. So more on that later, but this was just an intro to Swiss design style, and I'll see you soon with another design style. Thank you.